I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome. Oh my God, I love British accents so much. But yeah, so it's crazy because with the time zone, I was like, yeah, 9 o'clock, because I studied abroad in Italy last year. So when I went to London, like when I had my vacation time, I went to London. I was like, oh, okay. And I had to get used to the time zone differences from going to the US to here to there. And I was like, oh my God. I found you on TikTok. I obviously follow you, I think, because how else? But it was so funny because your interpretation TikToks with like Tom Holland and stuff like that. I'm like, I love this girl. I have to get her in. I have to interview her. So let's jump right into it. So what inspired you to start acting?
So I got inspired to act through dance actually, because I was predominantly a dancer growing up. And so I ended up acting on the side of that in shows. And then I remember sitting and watching, I think it must have been Winter Soldier actually. And I was watching it on Netflix on repeat. And I just sat there and went, that's what I want to do. That looks so much fun. I want to act. And then that's what I decided to do. And now I'm studying it at uni.
That's great. So your inspiration is fairly new, because Winter Soldier came out maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was 2014. So I was about 16 when I decided I wanted to act.
As aspiring actors and creators and entertainers, it's easy to get discouraged and try not to kind of fall back on your dream and feel like, oh, well, maybe this would be what I want to do. How do you kind of deal with thoughts of maybe not getting where you want to be or seeing yourself where you want to be? Like, how do you pull yourself out of that state of mind and say, yeah, this is exactly what I want to do?
For me, it's kind of like going back to watching Winter Soldier, I still get the same feeling of like, I want to do that. But also I was taught a really good saying by one of my dance teachers where if you don't get a job or you don't get into a drama school or whatever, it wasn't because you were bad, it was because you weren't right for it. It's never because you're not good enough. It's because you weren't right for the role and there's another role out there that you're better for.
Exactly. Love that. So do you have like anybody that's kind of inspired you particularly? Do you have like a mentor after you figured out, I saw Winter Soldier, this is it for me? How do I go from there?
So one of the actors that I love watching and I kind of look up to is Benedict Cumberbatch. I feel like this is very Marvel related, but for me, like I remember watching Sherlock with Benedict in, and I just loved how he like knew the character of Sherlock so well. And so I ended up watching so much stuff that he's in. Mm-hmm. And I just admire the way that he always knows so much about his character. He really embodies that. And so I always watch everything he's in and I always look at what he's doing, what he does to prep for roles and things like that.
But what is it like being in London as an actor? Like, do you feel like you have more opportunities? Do you feel like it's a little more challenging? Like, can you see yourself leaving London, or do you want to start your acting career and then go from there?
I definitely want to stay in London. I think being in Britain is great because London is literally a few hours away and you can get on a train. So I'm currently like not living in London because I'm studying. So it's a train journey away. So if I have to go for an audition, I can just quickly go there. And there's actually a lot of British TV shows and films that are filmed in Britain and they audition in Britain. So there's lots of opportunities. However, I do feel like, lots of people aspire to go to LA and things like that. And it's something I would love to do. My dream being to be in a Marvel movie, which obviously would involve leaving. But I would love to stay in London for as long as possible.
Right. Now, I'm a huge Marvel fan too. I'm more Spider-Man, like from Tobey Maguire to Tom Holland. Like,
yes.
Is my absolute love. I've been a Marvel fan for as long as I can remember. So I'm just like, but that's amazing. Do you have any side businesses that kind of help you get where you want to go that maybe help provide for acting class funds or anything from there?
Well, TikTok, I think, is a great side thing to do. Through at university, we've been told to create as much content of our own as possible because then you're getting your name out there. So social media is the biggest platform at the moment. So putting your content on there means that you're going to get seen by more people and it's a great place to start. So I would say social media.
Right. No, I completely agree. I started TikTok as a joke, as I feel like a lot of us did. I was like, okay,
yeah,
kind of kiddie, like whatever. And then I got addicted to it and I was like, I can't stop. So, you kind of find your thing on there that people like and you just kind of give people what you like to produce. But I feel like at the same time, you can't kind of give people what they want if that's not what you want to. So I always like to make sure what you're producing and acting and doing is what you want to do, because you can easily lose the love for it all because you did something that you didn't really care about. And I asked everybody I interview a bonus question that they couldn't prepare for, just to give like a good, real, raw answer. So, what are 3 things that you've learned this year that can, like this year of 2020, this crazy pandemic induced this kind of year?
That friends and family are really important. They're like, you need to have a support system there, because obviously being in this industry, not knowing the future of it, it's really important to have family and friends that back you up and make sure you're okay. Making sure what you're doing, like you're passionate about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I was going through this whole situation and I wasn't passionate about acting, I would be having second doubts about choosing it. Finding something else to do that's not your passion, because if you focus about it too much, you will no longer be passionate about it, because it just becomes a chore.
I feel that. I am an eager person. I'm an eager beaver. Like, college was never not an option for me. I was just like, I want to go to college. I want to go to university. This is what I want to do. But I knew that whatever I did in college wasn't going to be what I went out into the world and did a 9-to-5 for. Like, it's always been acting. So I completely get that. But that's good to know. Like, I feel like a lot of people have to keep the people that, support them the closest. And, for a lot of people's family and friends, and for others, it's mentors. So that's lovely. That's beautiful. But this was just a quick little interview. Just wanted the world to know who Miss Sophie King is, Up&Coming. So it was really, really nice to meet you. This concludes our meeting.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And you have a great journey, Sophie King. We will stay in contact.
Thank you.